Yep.
I'd like to review the
You got it.
audit findings and financial statements for the fiscal year that ended May 31st. I think overall it was a good audit. They had two findings. The one was regarding our internal controls, about the vendor change report, which we have since corrected. We have corrected this, and as of October, I'm reviewing, I'm running the vendor change report, signing off on it, and Heather is also reviewing it and signing off on it. And that's for payables if we've created new vendors or we've changed addresses or who we're paying. The other finding was, and this, we can continue to struggle with this a little bit, with getting quotes to go along with purchase orders. However, we've also since changed our purchase policy to go from $400 to $1,000 regarding purchase orders. So I'm expecting that for next year's audit, that will be corrected. And some good news is that the sewer fund is no longer showing a deficit unassigned fund balance because we changed it from an enterprise fund to a governmental fund. They also wrote in the report that the debt reserve was not used to make principal payments on debt during the fiscal year, which was also positive. And the village implemented a procedure to review and approve the payroll packet prior to payment. The other one thing that, we do need to work on, and we've had this conversation previously, is the unreserved fund balance. We do need to start moving some funds to reserves. It's certainly an opportunity. We currently have $2.7 million.
Oh, sorry. It's been around.
We currently have $2.7 million in reserves. I forgot where I was. And those reserves are the ones that we can, unassigned fund balance, 2.7 unassigned fund balance. Our fund balance policy says that we should be around 30% of our appropriated budget. So in this case, that number should be around at 968,000, not 2.7. So I'd really like to start thinking about putting money in reserves, and also how we want a plan to work those reserves or unassigned fund balance number down.
My paycheck. My paycheck.
So as we go into budget season, that's certainly something that we can have a conversation about. And yes, definitely should have a conversation about it. There wasn't a lot, there wasn't a whole lot, everything was good. I mean, everything was good news other than what I spoke about. So, and do you guys have any conversation, or questions from what you guys reviewed? It really was. There was only two findings. We had a couple conversations and went back and forth a little bit. And I learned a couple things about AccuFund that I didn't know prior. So we learned a little bit more about the software than what we had realized. But other than that, it was a good audit. I just really wanted to hit home the importance of moving money to reserves.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
And I will
So
need,
it's the need of thought of what reserves you might establish.
well, you can establish them, or you can move the funds to reserves you already have, like vehicles. We can also use it, you know, when we start to budget workshops, we can talk about how to use it with next year's budget. You know, and we need to look at if there's projects that we're not going to complete this fiscal year and moving that money to reserves. So we have it, so we're not rebudgeting the same thing. And, yeah. Jake and I had a conversation about a loader, and my thought was, instead of leasing them, we use the unreserved fund balance to pay for it. You know, we can always put it in, we can start putting it in reserves, and instead of leasing equipment, we pay for it. So we're not paying the finance charges.
I like it.
So, I mean, we certainly can have a bigger discussion about it during the budget workshops. Which we will be having discussion about reserves at the budget workshops. But I certainly want you guys to think about what, you know, how you guys want to deal with that.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Danielle.
Were you happy overall with MMD? Because this is
I think
first
that
time, second time using
this is our third time.
it?
Third time, once before I started and twice since I've been here.
Yeah.
I mean, they answer questions pretty quickly. They're very easy, you know, you send an email, they're quick to answer. I think that my biggest frustration was last year was with the bill, when he came here to present. But I mean, I think that was my only frustration, my biggest frustration. But I've had a couple of questions the last few months about 1099 vendors, and he answered me the same day, so.
Yeah, wait till the bill comes.
Right. He doesn't bill us for emails.
Right.
Yes. Which next time I will make sure I look at the contract before I ask him to